Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel family. I am super excited to have you guys here, and I'm also excited to be diving into today's topic. And if you guys are new here, my name is Cassandra. I am the witch, author, poet, and performer of Magic of Eden. Welcome to your sacred space. I want to go ahead and get right into this video, and the reason is because it is long overdue. Now, I have been doing this thing recently where I am offering for my Soul Tribe members to ask me specific questions or things that they need help with. Now, the reason for me doing this is because this is a time where I want to start showing up more and giving you guys more wisdom and information and things like that that you will need to help you along your journey. Now, what I started doing recently was I started asking you guys what questions that you may have that you would like for me to answer. And I've been doing a lot more of that. So if you see me looking at my phone, it's because I'm going to the messages where you guys ask me questions. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the first individual. This person is going to remain anonymous. In this conversation, I basically came up with one of the questions to ask. In this conversation, they were dealing with a lot of intensities, within themselves and with their partner. They were having a really hard time, showing up for their partner because they were also going through their own, individual things and whatnot. And they did not want their partner to feel alone and things of that nature. It was just this whole, thing that was going on, right? I'm going to be dedicating this advice to the person that this video is for. And I'm also going to be giving generalized messages about relationships and dealing with these extremes and intensities. Now, I also do have here tarot deck, and I also have here an oracle deck and a Lenormand deck that I'm going to be pulling from because of course I have to turn this into a tarot reading. One of the things that I want to say is that, for one, this video is not organized at all. I'm going to be flowing with the energy, and I'm going to be giving you guys the messages as they come. What I feel right now that's going on with a lot of people who are on this spiritual path is that not only are they becoming more intuitive, more empathetic, but they're also going through this space in their life where they are starting to become more evolved. Now, with evolution and with awakening comes, for some people, tumultuous energy, breakdowns of identity, and some people are also in spaces where they are relearning who they are. And for some people who are going through their spiritual journeys of healing, what this looks like is chaotic, and it plays out in relationships. Now, the way that I'm noticing that it's playing out in relationships, and I can speak to this because I just literally am in a space now where my relationship is stabilized, because I too have gone through my own awakenings, my own intensities and things of that nature. For some people, you're dealing with a lot of extreme energy, and this is bringing me to a lot of fire and a lot of water. And the reason is because for some of you guys, you're so deeply passionate, you're so deeply loving, and you have such a big heart. And more than likely, you are someone who experienced a lot of wounds, a lot of trauma, a lot of things that happened not only in your childhood, but also in your adulthood that leads back to childhood traumas. Now, one thing that I do want to say is that for those of you guys that are learning how to navigate these extremes, it can be really difficult because you kind of feel like you're in a space where either nobody gets it or you don't know how to show up for yourself. And in turn, you don't know how to show up for your partner. Now, one thing that I will say is that helped me through my own personal relationship was understanding that nothing is to be taken personal. And also there's this need for us to pull back and give the other person space to grow and evolve. Sometimes, when we're in our relationships, I don't want to say we get clingy, but there's this need for connection. And sometimes it gets hard when the other person already kind of feels smothered and they're going through a lot as it is. What ends up happening is they feel like there's so many things piled onto them. And it's like, well, I can't show up for you right now because I don't even know how to get this off of my plate. How can I show up for my divine partner if I'm having a really hard time showing up for myself? I'm learning how to navigate my own emotions. I'm learning how to navigate my own intellect and my own psyche. And as a result of that, I feel like I'm overwhelmed with all of this energy. As people who want deep connection, sometimes we get upset. For some of us, it's agitation. For some of us, it's being upset or angry. And some of us, it's sadness or depression. And the reason is because we want this closeness with our partner and to know that we're not alone on this journey, that we're not lonely on this journey. And so when we feel that our partner is unable to show up, it can sometimes make us feel isolated. And the whole point of connection is so that you won't feel isolated, because by nature, we crave closeness, right? At least for a lot of us here who are having a human experience. One of the things that I want to say to anyone that is going through any type of intensity in the relationship is to remember the power of compassion, remember the power of love, and remember the power of holding space and doing what you can. Now, one thing that I do want to say, that when I was talking to the individual, I love her, by the way, beautiful goddess, amazing. One thing that I was telling her was that it is okay for you to do the best that you can to show up for yourself so that you can show up for your partner. And sometimes the best thing that you can do is show up for yourself so that when it's time for you to show up for your partner, you know what to do and you know that you have more that you're willing to give to be of service to them. Sometimes the best thing that we can do in these relationships is to detach a little bit, to allow the other person to go through their own process. The end result for some people looks like no longer being in a relationship, and that is okay. And sometimes we get in these spaces where we don't want this thing to end because we have issues with abandonment. And so we don't want these things to end. Some people are not used to receiving love and compassion and grace from their childhood. And as a result of that, they sometimes go looking for that in relationships. Now, it's not to say that everyone's looking for a father or a mother in a relationship, but I am going to be honest. Sometimes we look for that closeness in a relationship. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a psychologist. I am not a therapist. I am not a counselor. What I am is a person who has real life experience with this, and I'm doing the best that I can to show up and give you just, little tidbits and things like that from what I learned along my own journey. It's imperative to remember that this life is temporary and that we are here in borrowed bodies in order to maneuver and to explore and experience this reality. And sometimes for some of us, this exploration looks like having a close connection to our loved ones and with a romantic partner. And sometimes the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to detach so that we can explore our own internal world and so that we can show up in a better light for not only ourselves, but our soul tribe and our romantic partners. Now, for some of you guys, the end result looks like you coming closer together. And if someone is meant to be in your life, I want to remind you that they will be, whether it be for a season, whether it be for a lifetime. What I learned in my former relationship, because I am widowed, is the importance of holding space by not being in the person's space. Now, what this means is allowing the person to go through their process by letting them know that you are there for them in the best capacity that you can by also giving them space. Now, for those of you guys that are in these relationships where you are going through your own transformation and change, and your partner is also going through their own transformation and change, both of you, or however many of you there are, there's so many different energies mixing, and there's so many energies that are going on in their own light. And when they come together, sometimes that powerful energy can cause destruction. Now, the beautiful thing about this destruction, because I am picking up heavily on Aries and Scorpionic energy, is that Aries is the passion, and then so is Scorpio, but Scorpio is the deep feeler. And then sometimes Aries can be a bit, I don't want to say over the top, but sometimes Aries can also be really intense because of the big heart that it has. The pair of these have their own intensities as it is. And so sometimes when these energies get together, oh my goodness, it is like boiling water. So one thing that I am hearing right now is to go spend some time near water with this loved one. And the reason is because the water will teach you how imperative it is to flow into yourself and to allow things to just simply be. The water will teach you how to flow into yourself and also teaches you how to surrender and allow things to just be. And I feel the need to say that in a really calm and graceful way, because the energy that I'm feeling for some of you guys, it really does feel really intense. And sometimes that intensity can make you shrivel up, and it can make you just feel like you're drowning. Now, if the communication is off between you guys, because more often than not, whenever we're dealing with these really intense energies, the communication can become kind of wonky, and sometimes there will be very heated discussion or disagreements and or big fights and arguments. Now, one thing that I want you to remember is that the energy that you hold and that you're harnessing is more than likely a buildup of all of the energies that are already within you. And when you're already holding that energy, sometimes the messages can come off as really aggressive, and then the other person feels that they want to be defensive, and then the next thing you know, you just have this really big fight, this volcanic eruption of emotions, right? It's almost kind of like swimming through lava is what I'm hearing. So basically, what I want you guys to remember for anyone who was going through these extremes is that the best thing, again, that you can do is to show up for yourself by allowing yourself room to grow and to remember the importance of not taking things so personally, and for us to remember the power of grace, compassion, love, and understanding. And the reason is because for some of you guys who are in these relationships, you are learning how to communicate, because truly one of the downloads that I just got recently was that the reason why humans are going through what they're going through is because they're learning how to communicate and they're learning how to tap into their higher minds. And with that comes the understanding and learning how to convey messages that we want to convey, that we want to put down in a way that is constructive. And sometimes we have to, or more oftentimes than not, we have to detach from the emotional aspect so that we can get the messages across more clearly. Because sometimes when we're communicating and we're communicating in a passionate way, sometimes we say things that we don't mean and it comes out in a certain way, but we don't mean it that way. That's because we have to remember the importance of taking a few steps back, sitting with the energy, sitting with our thoughts, and really taking our time to convey the messages. Now, the last thing that I want to say before I get into the cards is that to the person that this video is for, I know that you have gone through a lot in your life. I know that you have a lot of traumas that you're dealing with right now. I also know that you more than likely are in a space where you're healing, and you're also in a space where you are receiving the help that you need in order to show up not only for yourself, but also for your partner. I want to say that I'm so proud of you, and I commend you for doing the best that you possibly can to show up, and that you're doing the best that you possibly can to become a better version of yourself. It takes guts. It takes courage. It takes love. It takes strength. It takes dedication, commitment, and determination to be where you're at right now. And the encouraging message that Spirit is giving you in this moment is that the relationship that you are in right now is not for nothing. Nothing is ever for nothing, and nothing in this universe exists without a reason. I want you to remember the power that you have, and your greatest power is love. Your greatest power is conviction. Your greatest power is standing in your heart space and knowing that you are doing this on behalf of love, and that you are love. You are the embodiment of love in its most passionate form, and Spirit has its eyes on you and it sees you. Your guides see you, and your guides want you to know that no matter what, this is not for nothing, and that you have what it takes. Be patient with yourself. Be more loving with yourself. Forgive yourself for the times where you did not show up for yourself, because the moments where you didn't show up for yourself is playing out in your inability to show up for your partner. I don't mean to sound so harsh. I want you to know that I have your best interest at heart, and I really do love you, and I really do want you to know how important that you are to me. I want my soul tribe to know how important you guys are to me as well. And that is the message that I feel that I need to give you right now. Moving on to pulling cards, I want to go ahead and take a moment to call in our guides. Thank you so much, Spirit, for allowing me to relay any messages that my soul tribe needs to hear right now regarding this message. Are there any additional messages that you have? I just heard the word standby, like the word standby. Like I'm on standby. This is a really big deal. Like, you guys are in such this space that you guys are in right now. Foundations are 100% like not stable. Foundations are not stable. And I really can feel that you guys feel that you're losing your way and you're trying to find your way again. You're trying to free yourself. You're trying to free yourself from this mental prison, this mental hell. You feel out of alignment. You feel like you're in a sunken place. Yo, you guys are getting so many major arcana cards right now. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm like not even joking. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, we're gonna continue. Okay, this one doesn't want to show face. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, that one with the show face. So far we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse here. We have the Star card in reverse. We have what looks like the Moon card. We have the Devil card reverse. We have the Temperance card in reverse. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Hermit reverse. We have an unseen card here. We have the Ace of Swords that is showing up. No, that isn't the right. Let me go ahead and continue. Okay, here we go. We have the Queen of Swords here. I just heard the word set boundaries. Set boundaries. Very firm boundaries. Very firm boundaries, I'm hearing. Okay, and the wowzers. Okay, yep. You guys, okay, so the messages that I'm getting right now with the cards here is that there definitely is a need for more introspection. There is a need for space. There is a need for having the conversation and being completely honest about what you feel and how you feel, because you speaking up and speaking your truth is what's going to help things come back into alignment. What I'm hearing and what I'm seeing right now, especially the cards, is the fact that your foundations are 100% being uprooted, but the reason is because there's something else that needs to be built. There's a stronger foundation that is needed. And the reason is because this is meant to help you withstand the test of time. But the only way to do that is to face what I'm hearing Spirit say is a harsh truth. For some of you guys, what I'm hearing is that, yes, like there was a recent commitment that was made, or like there was like a recent type of bond that was made. And it almost kind of feels like not only did you bond with each other, but for whatever reason I'm hearing that there was some form of trauma that was attached with the bond. And when you came together, it almost kind of feels like whatever you had attached to you is not coming at your partner. But Spirit is saying that the reason why this is like this is because you're meant to go through this together and you're meant to come out on top together. Although this does feel very intense, it does, from the cards you would think that it would lead to a breakup, but I don't see a breakup happening. If anything, what I see is you guys coming together and you guys moving forward once you do get through the intensity. Now, the intensity is coming from the emotions, and the intensity is coming from this lack of connection. And it's not really even a lack of connection with each other. It's not just that, but it's more so the lack of connection with the self. The both of you are returning back to yourself, and you're going into this internal space where you can actually sit and reflect. And I do feel that for some of you guys, you may feel like you're in a space of darkness. You may feel like you're in a space where you're out of alignment and you're losing the middle way. And what I'm hearing right now is the importance of standing firm and strong in your truth and knowing what you do want and standing firm in that. But the way for you to get to this place is by you going and traveling into the dark, because there's some type of information in the dark that is needed in order to help you reach the light. And what I'm hearing, I just heard Spirit say to embrace the shadow. There's a part of your shadow that is trying to come out, and you've been seeing a lot of your shadow in your talks with the other person. You've been seeing the shadow show up a lot more in the way that you guys speak to each other. You've been seeing the shadow a lot more, and this need to fight and this need to just rage war, this emotional war is what it feels like. And what I'm hearing is that the only way for you to get to this next step is to confront those feelings and to reclaim your power and to go back to the space of empowerment by speaking your truth and speaking it with conviction and knowing that no matter what, this is a way for a breakthrough. I'm hearing Spirit say to go back and revisit whatever was said, go back and revisit text messages, go back to whatever was mentioned by word and talk about that. Spirit is saying to have the conversation, but this is a conversation where Spirit is saying that it wants you to be open to the other person's perspective and feelings without feeling the need to judge and without feeling the need to control, and knowing that if you want to help or control the situation, the way that you do that is through surrender. You control through surrendering. That is what I'm hearing. Also, there is power in grace. There is power in softness. There is power in compassion. You have the Queen of Pentacles here, and with the Queen of Pentacles, can you guys see that? Okay, yes. With the Queen of Pentacles coming out this way, I really do feel like she's really sitting down right now and she's thinking and reflecting on everything that has happened, everything that has been, because the Queen of Pentacles does kind of feel disconnected and she's trying to figure out, or it is trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? How do I show up? What do I do here? And we have the Queen of Swords here as well. So we have two queens on the floor right now. And the two other queens that are missing are the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Right now, the focus right now is to really sit and reflect on what needs to be done on your own end for the other, but not only for the other, but for yourself. And I really do feel the need to go ahead and turn this card around. And we have the King of Wands in reverse here. There's a lot of misdirected energy, a lot of misdirected passion, a lot of misdirected fire. And we're in a space right now where the divine masculinity right now is not needed. What is needed is the divine femininity. The divine feminine within you guys wants to connect with each other because that is where the sacred space is. And that is where the love is. And it's not the fact that the divine masculine part of you doesn't love, the other. It's just that you'll reach more of a conclusion and you'll reach more peace when you allow yourselves to flow harmoniously with this more divine feminine aspect of yourself. Now, although the Empress card is not here and the High Priestess card isn't here, I am feeling that energy. And the reason is because there is a need to go to your guides. There's a need to go to your internal space. There's a need to allow yourself to be open to the wisdom that you can't see logically, that you cannot perceive logically. And that's something that's coming through heavily right now. With the World card coming here and with the Judgment card, I do feel like this is definitely energy where you want to move forward, but in order for you to move forward, there's a recall. What did you learn? What is going on? How did things come to be this way? This is a review. This is you reflecting on everything that has happened by far and you allowing yourself to just simply be in this moment. Be in this moment and allow yourself to be carried as well. You have the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Have the conversation. What does love look like for you? What does fulfillment look like for you? What does this energy, what does this happiness look like for you? It's not anything that is tangible. It's not anything that money can buy in order for you to reach a state of happiness. If anything, it's the emotional connection. Speak the truth about what you want out of this dynamic and about what you want in life in general, and see if that aligns with the other person's values. If not, Spirit is saying to allow yourself to break away, allow yourself to break free, and allow yourself to separate. Nothing is going to last, but that does not mean that you are not going to last. Sometimes the best things that we can do for the other person is to let them go. In your case, I don't see that. What I'm seeing is a need for you guys, again, to have the conversation and to be honest about where you feel unhappy. Be honest about where you feel disconnected. Be honest about why you feel disconnected. And the other person is to just sit and listen. At the time of the full moon in Capricorn, I do feel that is your time to be more of an advocate for yourself. And I do feel like at the time of the full moon, there is going to be, by the way, the full moon's happening in Capricorn in Cancer season. And it's happening June 21st at 9:09 p.m. So basically, at the time of the full moon, from what I remember seeing in the chart, is that Chiron is going to be in Aries in the third house. And with that is going to come the need for us to speak up and communicate about the things that we do feel and where we need healing from. And we also become the advocates for not only ourselves, but we allow ourselves to become the voice for others who matter to us the most. And I do feel that in order for us to be advocates for the ones that we love the most, we have to be willing to speak up about where we feel pain. We have to be honest about where we feel that we can't take it. We have to be honest about feeling disempowered. We have to remember that there is so much power and vulnerability, and Spirit is saying that in your reading right now, at the time of the full moon, expect to feel more vulnerable, and you can always use it as a superpower. And your vulnerability is what's going to lead you to healing. And so Spirit is saying to not shut yourself off from that, because that is what's going to help you get to the space of fulfillment. Okay, I'm gonna leave the limit deck real quick. Okay, the child just came out. Child energy came out. Successful parenthood is what I'm hearing right now with this. Successful parenthood, inner child healing right now. There's a message coming in. Something about a letter in the mail. Check your mail. I don't know why I'm hearing spirits say check your mail. I heard the words baby shower. We have the child here. We have the letter here. We have the man here. And we have the tulips here. This is beautiful energy. Okay, okay, a recent wedding. Okay, this is definite. This feels positive. It feels. I don't know why I just heard the word enchantment. By the way, I'm in the middle of a channel right now. I just heard to write it down. There's this idea of like new love and like romance coming in. Once you do, wow, okay. Spirit is saying that once you do get through this situation and you're getting through it now, you can expect to see a major turnaround. I am feeling so positive about this intensity, and it's going to sound wrong when I say this, but I'm so glad that you're going through the intensity. And the reason is because I see in your future someone and a couple that is just so strong. Like individually, you are going to be a powerhouse of energy that is more evolved. And that is the best thing that you can do for each other and also for yourselves. And I really do feel, looking at the cards, like this looks really, really positive. It feels very positive. It feels very light. It feels very welcoming. Like there's this welcoming energy coming in. And I just heard father figure, like talk to a father figure. I don't know why that's coming through. Okay, Spirit, one more, or however many more cards. Strength. Okay. Strength. This just bringing me to like, I don't know why this is bringing me to family vibes, and like everything is happening right now to help set you up for a more successful dynamic. And this goes beyond just you two. This has everything to do with family, childbearing, children, something very specific about children. This child is choosing you because only you can help them with the intensities that they are going to experience here on earth. There's something very specific about you two that this child is choosing, and they want you because, again, you have a level of understanding that they would need. They will not be able to get that from anywhere else or from anyone else. They can only get that from you, and that is why they chose you. I don't know why I just heard the word baby. I just heard baby boy. Either this is going to be a boy or this is going to be a child that has very like strong masculine traits. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead. So we're gonna go ahead and look through the Sacred Force Oracle. Well, not look through it, but we're gonna pull cards from the Sacred Force Oracle. Uh-oh. What else do you have right now? Okay, those cards came out. I'm gonna leave them. Wow. That's so interesting. What? Okay, we have renewal here. And we have family. Renewal and family. Can you see that? I hope so. Okay. We have renewal here. We have family. Yeah, this is definitely a time where everything that you're going through right now with your family and, with your significant other, it's a new fresh start. This is going to be something where you're going to be able to leave it behind. You're going to be able to put the past behind you, and you are going to be so happy when you allow yourself to get through the intensity. You're working with a lot of extremes right now, and because you're working with a lot of extremes, you have to show yourself grace and compassion, my loves. You really, really do. Like, if you don't, it's going to be a harsher ride for you. And I really do hope that you choose love and compassion over everything. Now, with the cards coming out, renewal, family, and then you also have love here. You also have love with I love for you. Okay. You have love and you have stillness and patience. Okay. With this coming out right now, this really does feel like it's a new journey. And you are definitely journeying on, and you're learning how to build a new type of strength. But the strength that you're building right now is not necessarily physical. It is emotional, it is spiritual, and it is intellectual. Most of all, it is emotional strength and spiritual strength. This is a level up, and the love that you guys are sharing and the love that you guys are learning is going to help you move into this new space where you can expect unconditional love, but you can also give unconditional love. The thing is, though, is that you have to remain patient with yourself and the other person in order for you to get through what you need to get through. And I do feel that it's so interesting because this is bringing me to like a stork. This looks more like a stork than anything. Now, the message in this right now is that in order for you guys to go into this space where you feel more fulfilled, instead of you trying to navigate it and forcing your will to get through it, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to sit, to wait, to be patient, to be quiet, and to allow the truth to be revealed to you so that you can actually experience more love and more fulfillment in your family dynamic. Now, there's something very specific about stillness, and there's something very specific about just simply keeping your hands out of whatever this is. And the reason is because you can allow yourself to receive more direction from spirit to know what to do in this dynamic that you're in right now, but not even just in the dynamic, but also just simply in your life in general. Now, one thing that I do say is that the more that you sit, the more that you are quiet, the more that you receive instruction, you will then be in a space where you feel renewed. And sometimes this stillness and this patience actually helps you to feel rejuvenated. And it's bringing me to wellness, and it's bringing me to just deeper breathing. Connecting to the breath, connecting to the emotions through the breath is what will also help you right now in this current time in your life and relationship. Okay? The truth will eventually lift itself, and right now, with all the tumultuous and chaotic energy going on, sometimes it is really hard to see the truth. Sometimes it is hard to see a way out when things are so chaotic. And this is the reason why it is imperative to be still in the moments where stillness is called, where stillness is needed. I love you guys so much. And I thank you for trusting me. I thank you so much for spending time here with me today. I am always excited to be giving you guys messages, and I really hope that this helped. And yes, if you guys can please give this video a thumbs up. And also, if you want to, go ahead and leave me a comment down in the comment section. I am going to be spending more time creating more long videos, and the reason is because that is where I am intuitively called to go. And also, I want you guys to build more trust with me. Now, if you guys need anything from me, you guys can visit me online at CassandraTurner.com. I will link my website down in the description box. And if you guys want to, you can hold my hand over at Magic of Eden on Instagram. I will be sure to leave the links and everything that you need in the description box. And I will see you guys in my next video.